Morning. You all doing well today? My name's Nick. Otto is behind me somewhere, our garden cat, and it's the Tierra Permaculture vlog. Back at home today. I was up at Austin Rosa yesterday doing some trail work. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it above so you can check it out. It's a little bit different than most of my videos. Sound quality isn't as good as usual, but it's not terrible. It's not bad. I think most people would find it just fine, but me personally, I'm very critical of that. So. But yeah, it's up yesterday. We did a bunch of trail work, took a bunch of trees along the trail to clear it up for some access for people, so pretty exciting. Today we're going to do a little bit of grass maintenance, so I have a lot of grass to cut back here and also up front, but I'm going to just focus on back here with you guys. Just going to do a little bit with the hand sickle, and of course we got to check in with the chickens and the broody mama and do a couple other little things as usual, so let's get started. Actually need to go get another bag of feed that I haven't put in my barrel yet, so I'm going to grab that real quick. It's actually a different feed than I usually get. My supplier down the road at the agro centro, as they put it here, the agricultural center. I'm guessing his shipment of regular stuff couldn't come in, or something was interrupted, because usually it's a nicer bag, not just a clear one. Oh, sorry guys. But typically when I'm putting a new bag in, I kind of give this guy a little bit of a clean out. You see a little water does get in. If you look down there, you can see a little water glimmering. A little water does get in here despite my little rain guard on top there. That might just be when I open it simply, or anything, but anytime I'm doing a kind of replacing the bag, I just like to clean out. So what I do is I put this broken paint tray down just to lift it off of the bottom there. You can also see there's also an old egg box there. Must have just been there from before. I lift it off the bottom so that any water that does get in here, like this stuff in here, it's not much water, but it is a little bit. But what ends up happening is that can kind of eat away at the bag and eat away at my feed, and then start stinking really bad in here, and then my feed starts to go bad and moldy, and that's not exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to take this, we're going to do a little quick clean, and then we'll get right back to the action. Alright, we're going to let that sit while we do the rest of the chores so that it can dry out a little bit. So I don't have a nice little pool of water to start with, because that would just be unfortunate. So I'm just going to let that sit upside down while I do the other chores, get a little bit of a raise so some airflow can get in there. Where I do keep it on a regular basis, I actually have a little raised gravel terrace with some old tiles that broke off. And that just kind of keeps the whole bottom of it raised a little bit, so that keeps the bottom from rusting out too much. You know, obviously it's out in the elements and we're in the humid tropics, so it's going to get a little rusty pretty much no matter what. Even though it's galvanized steel, it's already kind of rusting. But, you know, that's what you get when you live in the tropics. So no complaints on my end, but it is a little bit different. I actually talked to the agro center guy here because, you know, I'm sure I could find some better feed, honestly, on the island, but thus far that has not been a priority for me, because I know that most of what I'm feeding them is food scraps and composts and all that, and fresh greens when they go down to the pasture. So I kind of see the feed itself as more of a supplemental food versus like an actual feed that I'm primarily giving them. So I don't really mind that if it's not like the best quality. I'd prefer to have better quality, and at some point I will, once I can find a good source for that. But right down the road, he's a farmer. He's been farming for a long time. The guy who runs the agricultural center there, and he said, he's like, you know, I don't like to give my chickens like the hen feed, because it has all this extra stuff in it they don't really need. So I just give them the rooster feed, which is mainly just protein, to like build up fighting. It's basically to build up like really good-looking, potentially fighting roosters, because that's part of the culture here. And you know, like, I have nothing really to say about that, because I like to respect the cultures that I'm living in, and rooster fighting here and also in like the Philippines and all that, and I have a lot of friends in the Philippines too. That's a very big part of their culture. So who am I to say it's wrong? I don't necessarily think I'd like to see roosters fighting for fun, but You know, if it's part of their culture, that's part of their culture. Just like bull running or anything like that throughout the rest of the world. So yeah, it's a tough one. You know, you do want to care for the animals, and it's not necessarily, I don't tend to condone animal fighting for fun, but you know, some people, that's just it's part of the culture. That's what they grew up with. That's what they like. That's part of like what makes them makes their culture their culture. So it's important not to take my opinions and place it on the culture I'm living in. Let's get on to feeding the chickens at last. These kind of things, you think you're just going to do a quick feed of the chickens, then you realize they have all these other little tasks to do. They're going to freak out because the bag's in here. They don't like the bag at all. It's actually not too bad of a freak out today. Usually the rooster's like crowing for a while and running all over the place, freaking out, so not too bad today. Let's take a look at broody mama. Hi mama. Hi. How you doing? How's your time in here? You're so sweet, sitting on your eggs. I'm so proud of you. You good mama. I need to refill her food and water supply here as well. That's gonna be next. And see, this thing is just like a one of these trays. I see these often sold at feed stores, so they must be a regular thing. I actually don't know what they usually connect onto, but I'm just connecting it right onto the to this chicken wire here. It kind of fits perfectly if I shove it in there, and it can just sit right there on the chicken wire. Super easy. I try to do it closer to the ground because I do notice that they tend to. It should be further up, honestly, but I've put it further up, and then I've noticed it come and it's all over the place, and they knocked it down. So maybe I'll try a little further up today. She's got a little bit of food. I'll give her a little more. Oh, hey guys. Back to trusting what's over here. I'm literally just scooping it out of their feed right here. I should have done it when I was doing the bag, but you know how it goes. You guys doing all right? You missing your mama? Here's some food. Here's some food here. Do you want some? No. All right. So I'm gonna go get mama a little bit more water and be right back. Fresh water and some fresh food for mama. I'll bring her some greens a little bit later. Mom was actually off her nest yesterday, just kind of looking around, getting some food, etc. And I got a message from Katie. I didn't see it till later in the day, but a little bit worried about Mama being off her nest, etc. But that's pretty normal. They'll get off the nest usually at least once a day to kind of get what they need, get their water, get their food, or anything like that. I try to give them something close to the nest so they don't feel like they need to go as far, but it's also kind of nice to stretch out your legs a little bit. You know, imagine if you're sitting on an egg for 20 hours a day at least, then having an hour or two off the nest, probably just fine. Also, I feel like in the middle of the day here, it's probably warm enough that if she gets off, even for an hour or two, it would be just fine. There wouldn't be any major kind of issues there. It goes to the rooster to go make sure Mama's okay. Since I interacted with her in the coop. Very protective rooster. Instead of throwing away this feed bag, I'm actually going to give it to our friend Dory, who makes really cool handbags out of this. So she'll actually kind of fold the top over and sew on some handles with some grommets, and it becomes like a nice shopping bag, a nice big bag. So that'll end up going to her, so we're not wasting that. It's not going to be an issue of us throwing that into the landfill. It'll be reused and repurposed for somebody, whether it's us or just for her to sell, and that's an income source for her, and it's just my waste material. So trying to find a way to throw things back into the stream and not just throwing them into the trash. That's the way to go if you can. It's not always possible, you can't do everything, but you just try your best, and your best is usually good enough. I'm just going to open up the greenhouse real quick. Not too much going on in here. I should get to planting again. It's always good. Once I'm transplanting out, I like to start seeding again, so that by the time those transplants get to fruition, somewhere else in the garden will probably need something new. So we are going into summer here, so it's a little bit less of a busy time now for getting things started, because most of the stuff that I can grow is already in the ground, because most of my beds are pretty full at this point. So I don't like to overpack the beds, because then you can have some issues with, especially here, if there's not enough airflow, you can get some molding issues, etc. Well, once he's eaten his chicken, send him back out. He hasn't even been on the vlog yet. His fans are waiting for him. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is actually, Katie finished chopping up all those coconuts we had down there yesterday. So I have some more husks to place throughout the gardens. So I use these as garden bed edging, etc. So I'm going to add a couple more down to this bed, I think. I'm actually going to remove my little shield here, my little sun shield for those transplants that I put in. I'm going to actually do this real quick. I'm going to remove this temporary shade for my newly transplanted seedlings last week. As you can see, it's just a palm frond. And then I'm going to pull off all the leaves, dying leaves at this point, with my hand sickle. Otto's finally making an appearance. He heard I'm filming a little bit later than usual, and he heard Katie in there and wanted to go beg for food. Hey, bud. How you doing? Everyone wants to see you. Everyone loves you on this vlog. Everyone loves you on this vlog. Everyone wants to see you run around in circles. Alright, so now I'm just using these coconut husks. Kitty. There we have it, guys. Fun cat, enjoying his palm frond leaf. He likes to chew on those and play with them, as you've seen throughout today so far. And then we also have garden bed edging made of coconut husks. So I just lay them right there, split in half along the edge of the garden bed, and they start to rot down. But it gives a nice definition of where the garden bed edge ends and where the non-garden begins. It's nice to have that delineation, if not for your own sanity, but for just for anyone else that's walking by that wants to know, oh, I shouldn't step here because that's the edge of a garden bed. All right. Sorry, I had a little bit of camera malfunction there. Now you should be good now. All right, next step, guys, is this little area. So I'm going to do the grass cutting here, cut all this here. Probably into this little area too. I'm going to move these chairs, and I'm going to take down a couple of the canna lily over here to feed to the chickens. And once that's all set, then maybe we'll be done. Who knows? I never really know when I'm going to end these things. Sometimes I find other projects to do, other things to show you guys. So we'll see where we get once we get that far. See, Otto is always very interested in a nice sharp tool whenever I'm using it. He likes to be right on it. He gets very playful when I'm working in the grass because he thinks I'm playing with him the whole time when really I'm working. But it's a little bit of play, a little bit of work. Just found a fire ant hill. Right when I was cutting, because my hands are covered. Careful, you're gonna get attacked by those fire ants. So they're right in here. So they're their little colony. And so, guys, I try not to have to get rid of ants because they do a really good job. Oh, look at him over there, curling up on the bag. He's so cute. Yeah. I try not to get rid of the ants because they're fungi farmers. So they're down below making their little nests, and they're cultivating fungus down there. So that's how they eat. They grow. They bring food. They bring leaf. They grab the leaf material, bring it into their colony, and then they feed this leaf material to the fungi that they have growing, and the fungi grows, and they actually eat the fungi. So pretty nuts. So what they're doing is cultivating a fungal network beneath the soil here, and that's of a benefit to me. I want that fungal networks, those fungal networks happening in my soil, because they help promote that long-term stability that I really want to see in my project. So I try to leave the ants as much as possible because they are doing a good job, and really we have to share the land. So sometimes hard to do because they're hurting me and they're hurting my lady, but we do our best. And as long as they don't go into the house, we tend to be okay with them. There we go. With the cat keeping watch and the rooster calling out. We got this whole little area kind of chopped down. That's pretty. You can see the line where I haven't got to yet, right there. And that's this project. Super simple. I'm going to do a little bit more right over there just to get that stuff down, because Katie walks around there a lot and she likes to have it shorter. So I'm going to hit that real quick, and the cat will probably jump in. So that's the seed head stuff. This is all going to be for the chickens, chicken food. This right here is going to be going onto the garden because it's free of weed seeds. So we'll continue on. Alright, Otto is doing a little bit of exploration down here on the shade cloth. I don't know if you can see him, he's right down there. He likes to, a lot of the lizards like to be on this shade cloth and run around and everything, so I think he likes to hunt those. And he just likes to find his little spots where he can call his own. He's a pretty funny cat in that way. As you can see, the rooster knows he's there and is quite aware of what's going on. Again, guys, you don't have to worry about the cat and my rooster at all. As you're watching this, if you're a little bit worried that maybe I'm putting someone in harm's way, if anyone's in harm's way, it's actually the cat. The rooster and the hens actually will take the cat any day, without much hesitation, or it's probably not even a fair fight. Are you back now? Oh, hey. Did you enjoy that little trip there? Enjoy your trip? So we're just finishing up here by, can you jump down? Do you feel safe enough to jump down? You want me to help you? I can help. Come on. There you go. So I'm just finishing up now, guys. This is towards the end of the vlog. I'm just resetting this trash can that we moved earlier. So I want to make sure that I get everything back in place before I walk away for the day, because if you don't, then things just end up being really ugly in your backyard and you don't actually ever have a nice place to just come out and have a few minutes. So I'm just going to reset this by basically putting everything back right where they were. I have my broken paint tray, and then I have a tile that goes on top of that, and then I gotta put the bag in. I put a trash bag first and then this bag, just because I am in the humid tropics and I know that things can very easily get a little over wet. So a little extra precaution, probably not actually needed, but now I don't have to think about it, you know. And this bag does not come with one of those handy strings where you can just pull it and open it. So I'm gonna have to bring my knife back, tucking in the food here, and then this is done. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this is juca, cassava. It's also known manioc in other parts of the world. Actually, we had this one growing further down the property, and it wasn't so well, so it wasn't doing so well. So I transplanted it up here in this little side right next to the garden bed here. It's still somewhat loose, and it's nice and dry over here. I figured it might like it, and it's definitely leafing out way better like it does like it. I also shoved one in over here, which is not doing so well. It's probably not getting enough light over here. So that's okay. You live and you learn. You figure out what works for your property and what doesn't, etc. Alright guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed this this vlog. Today was mostly a kind of maintenance day, getting things done on the homestead as much as I need to. A little bit of grass cutting. I'm actually now going to continue the grass cutting, this time actually with a trimmer. I usually don't use a trimmer because A, I don't have one, and B, I like to harvest most of my grass for use, so the trimmer I find just doesn't do a great job with that unless you're doing it for compost, in which case it's pretty good because it just tears it all up and gets into really small pieces, and you can rake them up and use them for your compost. So a mower is probably better than a trimmer, personally, in my opinion. But either way, what I'm going to do now is go out front and trim around Katie's front garden there and along the road. It just hasn't been done for a couple months because I've been lazy, I guess I should say, and spending more time focusing on back here than the front. So I'm going to take care of that and kind of clean up our side yard so we get a little bit less crickets. We have these crickets that will sing, and their noise is like non-stop. It'll just go for like minutes upon minutes of doing that. And both Katie and I have a hard time sleeping through that. And right outside our bedroom window, there's a lot of concrete. So they like to go there because their little sound echoes everywhere. So we find they tend to come more frequently when there's lots of grass there. So I got to go clean that up so we can maybe get some less disturbance at night, and me having to go hunt them down in the evening to get them out of there. So hope you all enjoy. If you do like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel, and please share with any like-minded communities or communities that might find some value in what I'm doing. That's my goal, is I want to bring value to you guys. I want to share the knowledge that I'm gathering as I do this stuff, and that I've gathered through courses, etc., and share that with you guys. So if you do have anyone who might benefit from this kind of information, please share it. Please share this this channel and a video specifically if there's one that you like that you think will be helpful. That really helps me get the word out and get some more reach out there. So anyway, hope you all have a great day, and until next time, have a good one. What are you doing down there? What are you doing, a little chair fort? You like that? Like your little chair fort in there? That's cool. A little spot for you.